What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I went to Music Fest. I wasn't going to go, but I'm really glad I did. I had a really great time dancing, letting loose, and just having a good time hanging out with a bunch of different people. Got some unexpected healing, thanks to Ross Plord and the crew and the wellness tent. They really helped me just release a bunch of things and just to acknowledge how brokenhearted I am and how devastating my life has been in the last little while, how hard it's been. But that was much needed. Had to release. I hung out with a lot of really cool people, got to know some really cool people, confronted people, abusive people, and they know who they are. You're a coward. But yes, it was not my ex-partner, it was somebody else's ex-partner. That's a piece of shit. And so anyway, I'm not afraid to stand up to people, and I'm not afraid to call people out, and I'll back it up, and there's so many people here that are so critical, so judgmental, but they just sit on their asses doing nothing. People like that, they have no action. They don't take action, so they're not worth it. They're not worth listening to. They're not worth any time. There's so many people here that are just judgmental and ugly and unsupportive and unkind and just have this ugliness in their hearts. There's way too many narcissistic and ugly people here. There's too many people that come here that are like that. And I feel like I've been talking to my friends about it for a few months now. We gotta stand up for what's right in these situations, and we've got to stand up to people like this, and we can't allow this kind of stuff to keep happening. The abuse of our people has to stop. So disgusting and ugly. Good-hearted people getting attacked, for whatever it is. Sometimes there's just not even an explanation as to why people are attacking other people, especially the people that are there for others, 110%, giving up everything they have to make sure someone is safe and supported and cared for, and they still go and stab you in the back. That's some of the worst feelings in the world, and that just happened to me recently too. I've been trying to heal my heart from losing my partner. 11 years with somebody is a really long time. Somebody, like I said before, that I loved and love more than anybody I've ever loved in my life. That isn't my daughter. And so, but still, even with how brokenhearted I am and how in pain I am, I still have to keep functioning. I still have to go as hard as I can every day. Just, I have to heal. And it's important for us to heal from these setbacks, major setbacks and life-altering events that just smash us into pieces. For a long time I was feeling extremely resentful because I've lived through so much heartbreak in my life and so much pain in my life, and most of my life has been the heartbreak. And so to have to go through it at such a high level in such a devastating way again, I almost couldn't breathe. So thank you to Ross Plord for just, he sat next to me and I just started to cry. And I was trying to hide my tears, and he was like, you don't need to hide your tears. Other men need to see you cry. Other men, so they know it's okay to cry and let their emotions out and let their pain be seen. And so I did. I cried for a good 20 minutes, and that was very healing. And then I was like, now that you got through that, now you should probably, what do you think you need to go and do next? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, you should go and dance. And so I went and enjoyed Jay Salmino and his set. Usually I'm up on the stage with him, but this year has just been one of the most messed up years of my life. Literally, from last October up until this point, this has been one of the hardest times of my life by far, if not the hardest. And so I was able to pick myself back up over and over and over again, but it was extremely difficult. It was really hard to be able to do that. And I had to, I was getting really worked up with my anger. I was feeling super angry at Music Fest and just so sick of people that, are actually abusive and getting away with all of it and getting away with all of that stuff. And then, there's good people like myself. I'm a good person. I'm a caring, loving person. I have a bright soul and a good heart, and I'm loyal and I love openly. And there's just disgusting people just everywhere that just face no consequences for their actions. And so I was feeling super angry about all of that. But Ross helped me let go of those feelings. And so I really am grateful for him, yeah. And I'm willing to stand up for what I believe is right. I'm willing to stand up for myself. I'm willing to let go of everything and anyone and anything that isn't going to help me protect my heart and love me. As difficult as it is. But yeah, like everybody has to find that sense of courage within themselves. I have a 16-year-old daughter that I really want to impart that on, so she is safe and she is okay. She spent the whole weekend camping with all her buddies and did really well, took care of a lot of people, and it's just a super overly responsive young kid. Responsible, yeah, and so more mature than I am, probably more mature than I'll ever be, and so I'm really proud of her, and so I want to impart that level of strength for her, so she has it even more so than I have, and for all the kids I work with, I want to get them to be strong and have their self-esteem intact too, and their courage. And it was just, it's really scary here with the way people can be so ugly and tear others down and tear them down to the point of just wanting to die. There's too many people here like that, and there's too many people unhealed here. And we need to change that, and that needs to change. And hopefully I could be a part of that change. And I want to be a part of that change. And just keep healing my heart. It's very broken. I'm very destroyed in that aspect of my life, and just trying to recuperate and recover and piece myself back together again and again and again. And being successful. And I just want to show people that is valuable to do for themselves, healing yourself as much as you can. And thank you. You guys have a good week. Peace out.